Wasn't that cool? So, like, I totally just figured out how to do a countdown. This is why I'm starting a little bit early. So, 9 minutes early. Wanted to say hello, hello, hello. This is my first straight up just only to the YouTube's live stream just because I don't know, Spirit's been guiding me to kind of move and migrate away from the Facebooks and their things for lots of reasons, but that's for another video. Um, I want to welcome you to my channel if you've never been here before. As everyone always kind of says when you come to the channel, make sure you hit, I think it's below here, subscribe, or maybe it's up on the over here. I don't know yet. This is again all new to me because normally I've been live streaming into Facebook, but this just feels so much nicer and so much calmer. So that's why I'm going to kind of hang out here. Wanted to just kind of invite you to hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell because the bell lets you know when I go live so you can come and hang out. And then also, if you don't mind, if you are loving me or just want to show me love, right down here, there's the thumbs up. If you give me a thumbs up, that tells YouTube that you love me and you want to see more of me. So it'll also say that you recommend this video to other folks. So other folks who may not know all about the manifesting and all about how we in my circles approach these things like Mercury retrograde in a much more positive and opportunistic way, they'll kind of find us and join our big old soul family here at Soul Coach Studio, which you are a part of. So what I want to go ahead and do is kind of talk about, let's see, I want to switch over so I have comments. If you can see me, hear me, just send me some love. Pop in and say hello. The comments thing is over here. I'm still learning which direction. So it's over here. And you can just pop in there. I think you have to sign into either YouTube or have a Gmail. I'm not sure how this works. Because normally when I watch a live stream on other people's stuff, I have to be signed into my Google. So if you have the Googles, which I'm going to assume you probably do, if you would go ahead and say hello as you come in. I'm not sure if you can comment on later ones. I think the live stream comments go to the side here. So if you're looking at the screen, it's on the right side of the page, the chat. And if you come back to the replay, just comment below and I will come back and check and see because it sends me a little note that says, hi, someone left you a nice little message. So anyways, wanted to kind of just go over the new YouTube protocols as I know them. I'm still learning. I even updated my banner. So if you are on the YouTubes and you come to my channel, you'll see it up here. It's nice and pretty and I think it's correct. So if you are a YouTube pro and you want to shoot me a private message that says, hey, here's another tip for you to get your YouTube-y stuff up and running, I always welcome that. I'm not real complicated, so I'm not going to be doing like SEO stuff like that. I'll leave that to other people. Like my cousin is an SEO genius, so usually I call him and I'm like, what else do I do? And he tells me in Michelle language how to do it. So don't get too complicated if you send me a message, okay? So anyways, who is this rambling person? My name is Soul Coach Michelle. If you're new to me, I am your friendly neighborhood super woo, soul coach, and manifesting maven. So my zone of genius, if you will, is everything woo, especially focusing on manifesting your dreams. So everything we talk about, everything I'm going to do here, especially right now in the Mercury retrograde, is going to be geared towards you keeping that vibration high so that when you start thinking about the stuff you want to attract into your life, you can be in that vibration. That's the goal of all the videos that we do here. Okay. So with that in mind, I do want to get started because we're right about 5 minutes early. I think people are maybe going to hop on. I don't know who's going to join and who's not. Let me just hop over and check. I wonder, let's see, because if you're seeing this on Facebook for some reason, because I linked it over there, I'm not sure. I can't see your comments. I can only see your comments if you're on the YouTube. So make sure you click the link that sends you to the YouTubes. So that said, welcome, welcome, welcome to Mercury retrograde. I, unlike every other person who talks about Mercury retrograde, is excited. Was I born under the sign? No. I do have a friend who's also a Virgo. I'm Virgo, which Mercury is our ruling planet. And he was born in a Mercury retrograde. So he always loves this time. I was not, but I've learned to love it for many reasons. So let's talk about that really quick. We'll give a quick primer on what is retrograde, because even yesterday I was chatting with some friends and everybody was like, shit, grab you, hide your kids, hide your wife. Let's just, oh my God, it's coming. Go under the bed. No. This is a wonderful time. It's like the source, spirit, the universe is giving you a month off of moving forward, which I think you know what, we all kind of need, because it has been a crazy ass year and some. And when you're stressed out at your job, I don't think most bosses are like, just take a month. It's all good. Just take a month and get your act together. This is the universe's way. I think we usually have these about 2 to 3 times a year, sometimes more, sometimes less. But these are our month and some to really reflect, review, recharge, restructure, which this whole year has been about. Last year was tearing down, obviously. This year is building back, doing new structures. So if you can look at it from that perspective, Mercury retrograde, practically speaking, is when the planet Mercury, which generally moves forward like most planets do, it appears to move backward in the sky. And what does it affect? Mercury is the planet of communication. So what does that mean? That means when it goes retrograde, it's going to kind of play trickster stuff with your communications. So think of from the perspective of what covers communication. And as a mass comm major, I can totally, this is again, sweet spot for me. Communication between people, like whether you're talking, thoughts within self, that's communicating with self. When we think about technology, the internet, the telephone, homing pigeons, telegraph, all of these things will be affected in retrograde, and they get wonky. That's why our computers get wonky, because they are a mode, a medium of communication. Anything that's communication is going to be affected. So just be mindful, back up your computers, reread your emails, don't hit reply all when you don't want to. This is the general consensus, okay? And from that perspective, think of it this way. Why are we not signing contracts? Now, when I was living in Muggle corporate America, I was a paralegal for 30 years, and I specialized in contracts of all the things, right? And I still had to have things signed, because you can't look at your attorney and be like, well, we can't sign it. It's Mercury retrograde. So what do? And why are contracts lumped in with the rest of this? Okay. So understand that a contract communicates, since we're in the planet of communication, it communicates the relationship you are going into. And we're in Libra, right? So Libra is all about relationships, balance, discernment. And since we're talking communication, this is why this is going to be big for contracts as well. So I want to speak to all of that, which is contracts are communicating from one party to another how we're going to set up this relationship. Notice why this is going to be big this time around. So if you are a paralegal, if you're an attorney, if you're getting married, divorced, going into business, anywhere where you're going to sign a contract and it's something you cannot put off signing until, I think it's October 17th, my bad. Ooh, that would have been scary, right? 2 months? Oy. October 17th, and maybe another week after, because you're in the shadow. But listen, life doesn't stop just because we're in Mercury retrograde. What this is saying is slow down. Slow down. I used to turn 60 contracts a month, and it was like insane. Don't do this. Take this time and really fine-tooth comb that contract before you sign it, if you have to sign it right now. And if you can wait until next month, use this time to really think about because a contract is the structure of a relationship. Okay. And that's what this is all about. You're in Libra. Structure, discernment, right? Balance. Is the contract balanced? Are you balanced in your emotion when you're going into this? Are you, is this designed in fairness, not in low vibrational Libra, high vibrational Libra? Discernment. Are we communicating everything we want in the contract? Do you see what I'm getting at here? So understanding that that's kind of the overarching thing here. And notice how nothing in that is like, go hide your kids, hide your wife, go hide under the bed. It is all about review, discernment, balance, recharging. What do I need to revisit? So we're going to get into that when I pull some cards here in a minute, because we're starting. I started a little early because I did want to kind of go through and lay out. I don't see this as a scary time. This is a great time where you want to take a nap if you have that opportunity. If you feel like you want to revisit some old journal entries over the last year and kind of go, you know what, I need to kind of look back on some things here. Go ahead and do that. This is your time. The universe is giving you some time off to kind of do a personal retreat, in the sense of, how am I structuring my relationships? What am I doing here? How am I surrounding myself, and who am I doing that with? So we're not just talking about romance here. We're talking about friends, family, everything. Who, it's almost like you get to Marie Kondo your relationships. That's what this time is. So we're going to clean them up, sort them, and then restructure as needed. That's kind of what's going to happen here. So with that in mind, I want to go ahead and I'm going to pull up really quick my, I just wrote this spread out this morning. It's been sitting in my head for probably, I don't know, probably a good week and a half. Because Source was like, you need to schedule a YouTube live. And I'm like, okay, what are we going to talk about? I haven't done a live in God knows how long. So this is also my first live in like a year or something, I think. But I came out with the spread in my head and I wrote it down. It's over here. That's what I'm looking at. And I have my notes. And so the cards we're going to use today to do our spread so that I can support you guys. And if you're here, come and say hello, post a comment in the chat. Like I said, I think you have to be signed into your Google account to see it, or your YouTubes. I'm not quite sure how that works, but if you post a comment and you're watching on the YouTubes, post a comment and say, hello, Michelle, I can hear you. I like your little macrame thing, whatever, whatever you want, say hello. And I think I can see you. I have no idea. I'm using the StreamYard, which is like, you can see up here is the little logo, because YouTube Live was like, put in your API key. I was like, I don't know what an API key. I'm just going to use this. Anyway, so if you're here, say hello, 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 hello. Yay. People are saying hi. Yay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you missed the beginning, I did give a quick little primer on what I'm doing here on the YouTube, who I am. Again, Soul Coach Michelle. Oh, hey, Meredith. I love it. Miss Red, because she got the red hair. Anyway, so I give a little primer in the beginning, and I do a really cool countdown that I figured out how to do this morning. And I was like, yay me. So anyways, well, since we're at a little past 11:30, I'm going to pull some cards. It's going to be a 6-card spread. And we're going to be using the animal deck. You guys know this is my favorite deck right now. It's been my favorite for quite some time. I love this deck. You can get it on Amazon. It's Colette Baron Reed, and her artwork. Well, she doesn't do the art. Who's the artist? Somebody else does the artwork. Anyways, but the artwork in it is gorgeous. So that's why I use this one. Ooh, I know who this one is. Mindset Tribe. Hey, Jazzy. Hello, hello, good morning. I hope everyone's having a lovely morning. The weather here today is in Nashville, Tennessee, is delightful. It's low 80s, low humidity, which my hair loves. And we are all here together. So hello and welcome. Again, Soul Coach Michelle, pulling some cards for the Mercury Retrograde. And if you need to have some love about what we're doing here, this is an opportunity for you to rest, revisit, recharge. Okay, so let's pull some cards. So I came up with the spread, like I said, this morning, and we're going to lay it out in that fashion. Okay, so let's see. Wait and feel the cards. Yay, we're going to pull 6 cards. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to lay them out. Oh, this is so interesting. I love when this shit, you can't make shit up, you guys. And of course, they're all upside down. Oh my God. And we got koala. I love me some koala bears. They're so stinking cute, right? Do you know? I mean, I've heard they're kind of mean. But I only watch them on the TV, so I think they're absolutely adorable. Oh, you guys, this is so good. Delicious. All right. So here we go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to walk through this spread that I created for this and for the readings that I will do regarding Mercury retrograde that I'll tell you about at the end. But anyways, I find it really interesting. A lot of these cards are upside down, and I find that really interesting because retrograde is all about bringing your awareness to things and giving you the opportunity to revisit stuff that maybe you're not aware of, maybe you've been ignoring because you're like, I don't want to rip that band-aid off. That's going to hurt like a mofo. I do not want to do this. But we have to do this. And during the healing, y'all, the reason I haven't been live a lot, I'll be honest and transparent, is because I've been doing some serious, serious inner work. And I'm a Virgo, so we're like Spock. And like, if you ever watch Star Trek, when Spock loses his shit, that's kind of what's been going on. And I finally, during Mercury retrograde, it's like finally slowing down enough for me to be like, oh, I can come out my shell and hang out with my peeps. So let's do this. This is for the collective, by the way. So some things may resonate, some things may not. Just make sure you take notes with stuff that resonates for you. Make sure you have your water. Water is great because we're conducting energy here. And the first card we're going to look to is, what opportunity will Mercury retrograde bring into our awareness as a collective? So from that perspective. And it's interesting because it's Buffalo, but it's upside down. Now, a lot of times in tarot, people freak out because they see upside down cards. Please do not do this. This is not how I read. The way that I read an upside down card is I'm ignoring it. I didn't know. I forgot that I knew that, or I didn't know that. Holy crap, that's new to me. So Buffalo is the abundant universe will provide. Okay? And understanding that means, and it's upside down, because I think a lot of us recently, because of all the crazy shit going on in the collective, has forgotten we're all running around in survival mode. And y'all, that is no way to be. You know, I want you to go, like, at least you're not in victim, because you're not in my energy. If you're in victim, you might be in survival, but I want you to be in thrive. Survival means you're pissed off. And that's okay. That's better than victim. Survival is one step above that, right? And we have to take steps. We have to take steps one at a time. Making leaps is really hard. So moving up the emotional guidance scale into survivor is great. I want you to use this next couple of weeks, this next like 4 or 5 weeks that we are in Mercury retrograde, for you to move from survivor into thriver. And the way that you're going to do that is remember where your faith is. It is not in the material world. The faith needs to be in understanding that the universe, God, source, whatever you like to call that which is bigger than you, Buffalo Spirit, is with you always. And it is an abundant universe. We were over at my parents' house the other day, and Darren and my dad were talking. And if anybody watching this knows my dad, Darren and him were talking, and they ended up finding a persimmon tree in the back of my parents' yard. And apparently you can eat these things if you're Southern. This is something that they do. And they all were like, we're going to buy it. And they had this big conversation about how the earth always provides. Mother Earth always provides. And my dad, who is not hippy dippy at all, goes, that's true. Yes. So remember, the universe, when we come from the context of our relationships, there will always provide an opportunity for you to have structure and love and balance and discernment in your relationships, in your communication, in your life lessons, in everything, whether that be your relationship to money, to people, to yourself, always has your back. And it's always abundant. So know you are taken care of. That right there is the biggest thing, is to sit in the faith and to know that you are always in the palm of the universe's hand and you are well loved. Okay, so that's number one. I mean, that's a great starting place. We can just start from there. We can do everything else. So the next one is, what energy will this Mercury retrograde bring? Like, what's it going to bring forth for us? And again, it's upside down, meaning, I don't know, I've been ignoring, or I forgot that I knew that, as my Uncle Fred says. And it's koala, and upside down. And understanding spirit has a plan. So this is our story so far. Story so far is, stay in faith that the universe is an abundant universe and it will always provide for you. If you can start from that space, it is so much easier to get to the awareness that you need to have throughout this. So no matter what happens regarding how you decide to restructure, analyze, revisit, is this person in my corner? Are they not? How am I going to communicate with them? Am I communicating like, let's like have more fun? Or am I communicating, you know what, I think it's time, like, love you, mean it, peace. It depends on, or how you're going to restructure you and how you talk to you. Okay. So understanding we're from an abundant universe, we're in this palm of the universe, palm of God's hand, right? And then spirit has a plan. Spirit has a plan. And I always love this because he reminds me of the monkey in Lion King, even though it's koala, who always was like kind of a smartass, but it was like the humor was used to teach you. So I love that that's who this kind of character is. And so the energy that's going to come through on this Mercury retrograde, okay, is going to be a reminder every time something happens. No, there's a plan here. There's a plan here. If you're watching the news and it's a complete shit show, which kind of is, maybe turn it off. Maybe the plan is you need to not have to worry about that. Maybe the plan is don't worry, there's stuff going on because, excuse me, chatty. You're watching the news and the plan is they call you, it's put on your heart to do something. Maybe it's to remind you that if you want to see change, you got to be change. That might be it too. But understand that, and even if something more personal happens, there's a plan here. What is my lesson is the question that needs to be continually asked. When I see crap, what is my lesson here? And here's the interesting. So what happens when we do that, nobody takes it further, but I'm going to tell you how to do this. The fact is that when you see something that triggers you, we're talking about manifestation. It's not your fault that you're seeing that. What's going on is you're having a mirror, not for the icky things that are going on, but it's triggering where in me am I doing that to myself? So, if you're watching someone be unloving to someone else, which is usually what triggers us, ask yourself, in what way am I being unloving towards me? That might be the plan. That's the true translation of what is my lesson here? Is where am I doing that to me? And what do I need to do to heal that? Okay. Hey, Gina. Hello. Sorry. I'm seeing people pop in and say hello. And then we have, what lessons do I need to review during the Mercury retrograde? And this is really interesting because it's butterfly spirit, which is all about transition and how beautiful it is. A lot of times we talk about being like the beautiful mess. And so revisiting those transitions that have happened, sit down. This will help you sit down and restructure what's going on. Like, who am I now? We are given these 4 or 5 weeks to really review and recharge and say, how do I want to move forward from this version of me? Because the version of you that's watching this today is not the version of you who woke up 6 months ago or a year ago or a year and a half ago or in 2019 before any of this crazy ass shit happened. Okay. The version of you today will be different from the version of you tomorrow. And as you move through this time, remember, transition is a beautiful thing. It is beautiful. It's not always pretty. I mean, like, butterflies are cute and stuff, but worms are nasty. And like, if you open a cocoon, which please do not do that because it disturbs the transformation process. But if you ever watch nature and you see like the nasty, icky, pulpy, nasty inside a cocoon, it ain't pretty. It's slimy like snot. It don't feel good, but this does. This does. So understand that every part of that to get here is a beautiful process. And know that there's a reason you're going through what you're going through. You may not see it until you get to October 20th or 27th. But right now, know that what's going on is beautiful. Label it as beautiful. Even if you're like doing the ugly cry, like I was doing watching the Tonys with the For Good song. I mean, if you have not seen that, YouTube that when we're done here, because you'll be like, oh my God, that's so awesome. Of who they are now. Who the original cast is now. They're not who they were 20 years ago. Who are you now? And how can we continue this beautiful transformation, knowing from a place of the universe is abundant and spirit has a plan. So do you see how I'm making the story kind of come together? So, what lessons need more focus? Like, what do you need to come back and rework? Because I know that, not all lessons happen like this. You don't go, oh, 2 + 2 = 4. Great, I'm done. Let me go have a piece of pizza. No. Sometimes we got to come back. And it's funny because, again, you can't make this shit up. It's upside down, which means, again, what have I been ignoring? I've only have a half-baked cake here as far as lessons go. Because maybe I wasn't real happy with the batter and I'm kind of like, well, the oven went out or whatever. So from that perspective, what do I got to look back on? And this is horse spirit. Freedom is yours. Isn't that a gorgeous, gorgeous artwork? And notice the number. It's 33. 3 is the manifestation. And when you do it in derivative of 11, it is powered by Ascended Master. Okay? And knowing freedom is yours. I think a lot of us have been so bogged down in the idea of not having freedom for one reason or another. And I think we see this on the news with everybody on either side screaming about shit, about how this one's freedom is stepped on or that one. Seriously, sit down and look at other countries, my friends. I love y'all, and I want y'all to be happy. My goal, one of my dedicated goals, is to remind you who you are, and you are a divine child of the universe. You are an extension of source energy. If there is somebody that is free, it is you. Look around the world. Freedom is all around you. And there is a perspective right now of people stepping on freedoms. And this card is upside down to remind you that you are free no matter where you are. And you're manifesting whatever's going on. So if you think energy flows where focus goes, if you think you're not free, whether it be free from a relationship, because that's what this Mercury retrograde is like, you're free to make those choices. And understand, making choices in a relationship, whether it is to move forward, to shift it, or to leave, those are all valid choices. And if you in your head think, if I do any of these, it's going to upset somebody because I'm putting a boundary in, because that's what you usually do when we shift things, and that person does get upset, maybe the boundary was needed. Okay. And that goes for whether you keep it, transform it, or say, let it go. But understand that freedom is yours. You have a choice always. Freedom is always there for you. It is your perspective whether or not it's there. And maybe that's the lesson to revisit. Where am I holding myself back from freedom? If I'm seeing things where people are screaming about their freedoms being violated, whether it be here in the US or anywhere else in the world, again, back to the spirit having a plan. There's always a lesson. What is my lesson? And the question when you feel that way is to say, if I'm looking at where people are screaming they don't have any freedom, where am I not allowing myself to be free? Where am I not allowing that in my relationship to myself, in my relationship with others? Because if you're friends with people, and again, remember, this isn't just like, not everything in the astrology and the woo-woo is all about like, oh, I'm going to find my soulmate. Okay. It's about, we live our lives in relationship. We really do. So understand that when we are looking at folks that we surround ourselves with, who's in your corner for reals? Okay? Because I'll tell you this, when someone isn't in your corner, you know it. But if you sit here and you say to yourself, I can't let them go because they might feel bad, but I feel trapped. Freedom is still yours. You're choosing not to. And you don't have to vilify somebody to say it's time for us to be, not hang out anymore. It might just be, and here's the other thing, you might feel that way, that someone's doing that to you. They might be having some serious troubles, and maybe it's reach out time. If they don't reach back, that's fine. But understand the freedom of how you settle into relationship, whether it be in friendship, family setting, or a relationship that's romantic, you're free. Okay? Part of, I think, the misnomer of relationships in the modern world is that we have to be codependent. Oh, I have to give up myself to be part of this. That is such crap. You're not fucking Swiss cheese with holes to fill, okay? You need to be a delicious Monterey Jack that is complemented by some Gruyere on a grilled cheese. That's what makes a good relationship, not you complete me. That Jerry Maguire stuff is bullshit. So understand boundaries are necessary in relationships so that you can show up in a complete way and participate with two complete people or as in a circle of people that are complete. You know, if we're always feeling worried about we're going to hurt somebody when we didn't even like know what their triggers are, you're not free. Be free and work from a place of abundant universe. Work from a place of there's a plan here that God has for us, knowing that everybody's going through their shit. Everyone's going through their shit, and that's okay. Just be understanding. I mean, the thing is, if someone's being toxic, yeah, leave. But like I read somewhere, I think it was my friend Christy McKinley, who's an amazing like meditation self-care person. She had a post and it said, empathy is great, but it's toxic without a boundary. Okay? So understand, you're free to set boundaries in your relationships because the fact is that transforming into that strong, wonderful, divine, feminine, goddess warrior thing that we're all experiencing, she needs boundaries. She needs boundaries to thrive because we want to go from survival to thriving, right? So now, what are you not seeing? And I love how this one is face up because they're like, boom, this is what you're not seeing. What are you not seeing that you need to focus your awareness of? Little beaver who builds a lovely dam in the water, right? They're super cute. They know how to build all kinds of things. And since we are in a year of, okay, last year was like, let's blow it all up and burn it all down. And this year is like, well, shit, I got to go ahead and I got to rebuild. So, of course, what do we need to focus our awareness on that we're not focusing on? I know for myself, this is so true. It's time. It's time to lay a solid foundation. Now that you know what you know, now that you know everything that you have accumulated through this whole past year, you also are remembering the universe is an abundant place. It always provides for you. The only person blocking it from providing for you is you, because we're not seeing how we can out and allowing, and we're talking ourselves out of the abundance, right? If we're not showing up, the law of compensation states if you don't step to the line, the universe won't either. Why? You're all going to sit around and eat chips in the lounge chair. That doesn't get you anywhere. But if you're going to step up and say, okay, you said if I do your work, you're going to compensate me. Do you want to know something interesting? I thought this was hilarious, and I only realized it this morning. I had that same thought the other day, and then the universe was like, you're being a lazy ass. Don't talk to me about law of compensation. Now I'm going to tell you, you need to get on there and do you a live about Mercury Retrograde, and I will compensate you. And I was like, all right, but I'm not sure I can do this. I don't know if they were like, I don't care. Set it up. It took me like an hour to make the little graphic. This all went down in like 24 hours, 2 days ago to do this. I've been thinking about the spread for a week because I thought I'm going to do it for myself. But no, they're like, no, this is for everybody. And so I set it all up. I got everything done. And I felt really good. I was like, oh, this feels so good to get kind of back in the swing of things. And you want to know what happened? Yesterday, I go to get the mail and there's a reimbursement check from the healthcare people or whatever for like $300. And I was like, thank you, universe. So I stepped to and it doesn't have to come for your business. So if you are watching this and you have your own little woo-woo business like me, let's remember abundance comes in known and unknown form, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be directly. There isn't the universe is not a straight line just because the material world is. So stop thinking that way too. But understand, lay a foundation, but the foundation now is new. You are building a house from the new perspective of you. The new perspective that the earth and the universe are abundant. The new perspective that everything that happens has a plan. The new perspective that nasty cocoony mushiness that we have all been for a good year and a half, it's beautiful. It's not ugly. It's gorgeous and full of like, Bob Mackie gowns, if you remember that guy. Okay? And also, you are free. Freer than you probably even know. And from that perspective, what kind of structure are you going to build? What kind of structure do you want for the next however long. Understand that it is time. You are in control. You, not this ink and paper, you. And the fact is that when we get this card in the position of what am I not aware of? It's almost every single one of these until this one have been upside down, saying, remember who you are, you divine, gorgeous child of the universe, you divine, beautiful soul, you powerful, amazing extension of source energy who can create anything you want. What are you going to build? This is your time to sketch out those plans. You don't got to put them into action unless like you kind of really feel it. But the fact is that this time is to look back and say, where am I not giving myself freedom? Revisit that lesson. And then from there, the perfect next step is now that I know, now that I have an audit of the fact that I got everything at my fingertips, I know I'm working towards something. This transformation is beautiful and I got all kinds of freedom and I can do whatever the hell I want. I don't have to listen to these gurus on whoever, whether it be a guru telling you how to cook something or a guru telling you how to run your business or your guru at the office meeting that has some kind of motivational garbage that sounds really great on paper, but you know in your heart is kind of bullshit. What is your trueness? What is that? And what are you going to build with that as your blueprint? Now, lastly, I think this is awesome. What inspired actions do you need to take? Because we're all about inspired action if we're manifesting, right? We got to take some action because you got a law of compensation. If the universe says go do this, you got to go do it. And then they come, okay? What are you going to do to make this a graceful Mercury retrograde? A lot of times when we talk about inner work, it's a lot of like, I'm going to stay by myself. I'm going to go in my cave. I'm going to go book a room and not come out. And even if you're an extrovert, I'm going to act like an introvert, all this business, right? Lots of journaling, which by the way, I'll be honest, I like journaling from the perspective of like, I write notes, but I don't do the whole like, dear God, it's me, Margaret thing. But it's time. And this is funny, it's a one, and we all know what one is. One is beginnings, one is the universal number of spirit, one. But that one is unity. And unity is part of the collective. So what does that mean? And you have ant spirit, and ants work together to build. So maybe you still, yes, you do your individual journey as you. But we decided to come hang out together in the material world, to sit down and have this amazing experience together. And I know a lot of us are like, you serious? I picked this time, this right here. Out of all the times I could come and hang out on earth, this? Seriously? But you did. And we're here together. Whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching this a year from now, whether you're watching it tomorrow in a replay or this afternoon, our energies are all together because we are all one. We are the Trinity of the divine self. It is natural for us to collaborate with each other. Sometimes, yes, you need to stay within self and be like, oh my God, I totally got to get my shit together. I cannot face another person right now. I cannot people. And sometimes it's time to seek out not any random person, but a like-hearted person. Notice I did not say like-minded. Like-hearted. We all have different views. That's the beauty of this rainbow of the earth. We all are different shapes, different colors, different sizes, different everything. But our hearts, our sole purpose of abundance and love and prosperity, because the soul is all part of source energy. It's how we manifest that in our material world that creates the life purpose. And a lot of times we come together because our hearts bring us together. So when we're restructuring, I think it's really interesting that this whole thing, the Mercury retrograde, is about communication in all forms and figuring out, revisiting, recharging, reviewing, deciding what's going on, sorting regarding communication in relationships. Two to tango, right? Collabs. Hate that word. I think it's so cheesy. But I find it really interesting that that's in this collabs. So, understanding from the story that has been laid out, right? What do we need to be aware of? That since it showed up upside down, that most of y'all, me included, are like, the abundant universe will provide. Because I think a lot of us recently, especially like watching this whole thing in Britain, sorry guys, I love my UK peeps, but y'all are kind of losing your shit over gas. And US peeps, stop buying all the paper towels, because I'm really pissed off that Costco does not have my favorite paper towel because people went apeshit and bought a ton of paper towel when you don't need to. Just chill. Everything's cool, okay? I'm here to tell you. Understand that the universe is abundant and it will provide for you. Don't worry about that shit. It'll be there as you need it. Trying to control things is not how any of this works, okay? So be aware and be in faith. Those are the first two things. Be in faith that it provides and there's a plan. If you can sit in those two spaces and work from everything else regarding your relationships with yourself, with others, with people you interact with on a daily, transformation will be beautiful. You'll start realizing, even if you don't know it right now, that freedom, you have the freedom to do whatever the hell you want, to manifest whatever you want. No one is holding you back. No one. The only person holding you back a lot of times is our thoughts about what's going on. Release that and you'll be good. And then you can lay your foundation from that perspective, from that full perspective. You can restructure the rest of this. Now that we can see clearly, Libra is about discernment. And yeah, Mercury retrograde can muddle the mind, but if you start working on all this stuff and really set yourself up from a heart-centered space, you'll move through this with a lot more ease and grace, my darlings. And to close it out, the collaboration thing, time to collaborate. Go have lunch with your friends. Go call up, someone you've not seen in a while, but Spirit has put on your heart to call, or send them an email. Start kind of having conversation. Talk things through with a trusted person who really for sure is in your corner to kind of figure out, how do I do this? I'm not sure. Or you might even instead say, I have an idea how to do this. I want a sounding board I can trust. So understand that. Let's do it. Yes, Jazzy. I was talking to Samia, by the way, and we're supposed to have lunch, the three of us. Just FYI. But anyways, that's our message. This Mercury retrograde is keep your faith up high. I know it's a challenge right now. Turn off that television. Stop looking at the Google News. Turn off that. You can delete that news app off your iPhone, by the way. Take away the bullshit. Muck out that stall and start deciding for yourself, not for what other things. They call it a TV program because it programs y'all programs. Turn it off. And then have faith in the true programming of source energy. And know there's abundance, there's a plan, and there's beauty all around you. And from that space, rewrite your story for the rest of this year and into next year, and how we're going to do this. Because next year, December is our launch pad. You got time. It's all good. Believe in you, okay? Believe in you. You got this. It's all good. I hope this was really helpful. I want to kind of roll back through these. So I feel like I should get like the Magic Garden. I think it had the mirror with no mirror in it. And you see everybody. There's Samia and Jazzy and Gina and Meredith. Hello, peeps. I'm so glad you guys joined me for my first real soul YouTube-y thing. By the way, I am actually, big surprise, not really. Since I designed this spread, I'm going to do this. This was for the collective. So I know it resonated on a whole, but if you want to have one of these readings specifically for you and what's going on with you, you are more than welcome to book one. There's a link in the blurby thing. I don't know what you call it below. If you want to go ahead and do that, there's only limited spots because I'm only doing it during Mercury retrograde. And when that ends on the 17th of October, it goes away. So only so many spots, and I only do it so many days a week. So anyways, that's an opportunity for you there. Again, if you love this, I'm going to be tuning up this YouTube channel and we're going to start doing readings weekly. So make sure you subscribe, you click the belly thing, and you give me a thumbs up down below because you can do that. And what that tells YouTube is that you love me and other people should love me. So we can get the message out about love and who people really are and just start people manifesting the crap out of everything they want. So if you could go ahead and do that for me, if you loved it so much, I love you so much, and I will see you guys soon. If you have questions, you're always welcome to message me. And again, if you want to book your own session with me, the link is below. I love you guys so much. And I will see you later. And that's it. Have a great rest of your week. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Oh, and broadcast. Yes. Bye.